Okay, guys, we got a bombshell here. Jeffrey Epstein's brother, guys, going on Piers Morgan today, accusing Donald Trump of having involvement in his brother's death. Jeffrey Epstein, the financier, the sex criminal, the guy who's been in the news the last 24 hours, basically nonstop, because, of course, the Trump administration is under fire right now for basically covering up this absolute massive scandal of Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, which apparently there is no clients. There's no client list. Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison for doing absolutely nothing and trafficking women to nobody. So that's exactly the story from the Trump administration right now. And they asked President Trump about this, of course, who's always been very squirmy on the issue, saying, "Oh, Ghislaine Maxwell, I wish her well." Trump, of course, was friends with Epstein for quite a long time, although we don't really know where that relationship ended, when it ended. But we do know they did have ties in the past. And Jeffrey Epstein's brother goes on Piers Morgan today. This is, of course, in the midst of an absolute firestorm against the Trump administration for releasing footage that missed a minute of time of, I mean, again, it's just such a sloppy operation that is being conducted by the Trump administration right now. And of course, they asked Trump about it in the White House yesterday, and he said, "Why are you talking about Epstein? No one should be talking about Epstein." Very strange, very unlike Trump, almost as if he appeared nervous and was clearly trying to get the media and kind of signal to his base, "We're done with this issue." But I'm telling you right now, people aren't done with this issue because people are furious about this because it's such an obvious cover up. Again, what are the reasons? Is Trump covering it up because he's personally involved? That's what Jeffrey Epstein's brother seems to think. Or is he covering because he's some sort of intelligence agent or intelligence asset? Nobody really knows. Will we ever find out? I hope so, but it remains to be seen. But Jeffrey Epstein's brother goes on Piers Morgan today and makes absolutely astounding allegations. And it's interesting because this is his brother, and he basically makes a point, and you're seeing this. Hey, people are always blaming people, like a lot of the MAGA people are blaming Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino. But why are they doing it? At the behest of who? They're, of course, doing it on behalf of Donald Trump. He is the president of the United States. And these guys were talking so hard, so strong that they're going to get Jeffrey Epstein. But now, once they get into power under Trump's administration, they get close to the sun. All of a sudden, oh, he did kill himself. That's it. Case closed. Nobody buys it. Here's a full clip, and we'll talk about it after. And guys, by the way, make sure to like and subscribe. It's super good for the algorithm, so please do that. My Patreon link is also down below. Take a look at that. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Here's a clip, and we'll talk about it after.
You got bought. All of these people work for Trump, okay? So if they're covering up for somebody, who do you think they might be covering up for?
So you think they're covering up for President Trump?
People look at all of us. Everybody is looking at little pieces of this and coming up with kind of theories. But people really take the time, because there's a lot of facts, there's a lot of information. People who take the time and really investigate this thoroughly all come to the pretty much conclusion that maybe Trump was behind this.
Wow. Well,
maybe Jeff was killed to quiet him.
You think President Trump has something to do with Epstein, with your brother being killed?
I wouldn't write that off. Because if you look at all of the evidence we have and all of the facts, not opinions, and all of the facts, that wouldn't be something I would dismiss.
I mean, that's an extraordinary thing to say, but there is.
Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I find that pretty astounding because I don't think Jeffrey Epstein's brother has gone public in this sense where he's actually accused Trump directly, and Piers is like, whoa, that's a pretty stunning allegation. Yeah, it is. But again, if you look at the circumstantial evidence here, if it's true that they're friends, and of course, again, many on the right wing say, oh, the Clintons, of course, had something to do with it. Okay, first of all, let's be very clear here. Who would have to have the means to do it? Let's talk about it circumstantially. Trump was a president at the time, so he basically had control of the federal prison systems in the sense this guy is the most powerful person on the planet. So he would have the means, hypothetically, to do something like this. And of course, he had friends with him, and he says maybe he wanted him to shut up because, again, he's always been very squirmy on the issue, and it's just a super interesting conversation to have. And I just think it is interesting. You see a lot of people saying, oh, it's Pam Bondi's fault, it's Cash Patel's fault, it's Dan Bongino's fault. Of course it is, obviously. But who's the top of the food chain? It's Donald Trump. He's the guy who's in charge of this investigation, basically. And he's clearly the one who's shutting it down. And I don't think it's a coincidence, guys. This comes a couple of weeks after the fact, and Piers brought this up today. It comes a couple of weeks after the fact that Elon Musk came out and said the reason why you're not seeing the Epstein files is because Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the reason why. That's the reason why Elon Musk, or excuse me, that's the reason why the FBI, the DOJ, they shut this thing so quickly because, of course, they want this conversation to be over. But in the failure of an attempt to do this, they've only increased the amount of public pressure and the public scrutiny on this. I'm telling you right now, this is not going away because people can smell the BS from a mile away. And again, the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, literally said on tape a month ago on Fox News that she had the client list on her desk and was reviewing it. Now it doesn't exist. Beyond insane, makes totally no sense. They're lying about, oh, we're trying to protect the victims. That's why we're not releasing any information. It's a complete slap in the face of the intelligence of the American voter and the American citizen. It's a disgrace, guys, and everyone knows it. What's the real story here? Who knows? But Jeffrey Epstein's brother saying this, I mean, it raises questions. It raises questions. What is Trump's involvement? Why would he even be involved in the cover up if it's just because he has? I mean, what would the reason be? What would the reason be? The entire thing is extremely bizarre, guys. Extremely bizarre. And it's very obvious Trump is trying to deflect. And he almost appeared nervous in some of these clips where he's talking about it. Very strange stuff. So that's what I got for you guys today. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. Like, subscribe. Patreon link is down below. Make sure to comment as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good night, and I'll see you later.